Have you ever looked into the eyes of someone you know? They smile, nod, even say they're proud of you, but deep down, a gut feeling rises. It's as if your soul whispers, this person isn't being genuine. You have no evidence, no fight, no obvious betrayal. Everything looks fine on the surface, but their energy is off. Their applause is loud but lifeless. Their smile is squishy, and when you start to rise, they pause for a moment before pretending to cheer. You are not paranoid, you are not weak. As Carl Jung pointed out, there is a part of each person that he called the shadow, a dark side that is buried behind polite compliments, friendly laughter, and social hugs. But inside it lies a storm of jealousy, pent-up anger, quiet competitiveness, and sometimes unspoken hatred. If you ignore that instinct, if you continue to believe in the mask instead of the truth, there will be a price to pay. Maybe emotional, maybe mental, maybe even physical. Because hate, when disguised as fake love, doesn't attack you in obvious ways. It drains you slowly, while still maintaining the appearance of friendliness. In this video, I share with you 8 alarming signs that someone close to you, whether a friend, family member, or co-worker, is harboring silent hostility toward you. It's not that they don't like you, it's that they hate you. That venom isn't expressed in overt actions, but in the little details, from the look in their eyes, to the words they say, to their lack of presence at important moments. Most people don't realize this until they've been betrayed, used, or mentally drained by people they once trusted. But if you stick with me to the end of this video, the 8th sign will wake you up, like a ray of light that will tear through the fog and make you never look at others the same way again. Begin, not with fear, but with awareness, the most powerful weapon of the Stoic mind. Sign 1. Sabotage, when caring is a hidden dagger in the back. Have you ever had a friend who accidentally forgot to tell you something important? A piece of information that, if you had known it earlier, could have changed the outcome. Or worse, they gave you advice that sounded right, but ended up messing things up. They don't show up when you need them. They disappear at crucial moments. And when you confront them, they simply say, "Sorry, I was busy," or "I forgot." Once might be an accident, twice is a coincidence, but 3, 4, 5 times? That's no accident. That's intentional. There's a subtle sabotage going on, silent but intentional. The scary thing is that they don't do it in secret. They do it while still hugging you, patting your back, telling you they only want the best for you. They keep up the facade of being a sincere friend, but their actions quietly pull you back. Carl Jung warned us, "A person who feels inferior does not try to raise himself up, but tries to pull others down." They don't want you to improve, because every step you take forward is a silent reminder that they are still standing still. So what do? They hold you back, not through force, but through sweet words and small actions. They forget to share opportunities, give the wrong advice, or compliment you in a way that makes you doubt yourself. They say, "I'm just trying to help you," but deep down they know exactly what they're doing. And what makes it even scarier is that they look like your rock. They pretend to be your rock, but in reality they are the silent storm, eating away at your confidence from the shadows. If someone constantly stalls your growth, is absent when you need them most, or plants seeds of doubt in you, you understand this. That's not caring, that's control. They don't want to lose you, but only if you don't get ahead of them. Sign 2. Silent competition, when your joy causes a hidden war. You share some good news, a new accomplishment, a successful project, a small step forward. You expect a smile, a hug, a heartfelt congratulations. Instead you get, "Oh, what a coincidence, I just did this too." Suddenly your moment is no longer yours. The light you once shone upon is dimmed. You reach up, and they immediately stand taller, not to lift you up, but to tower over you. The fun is no longer fun, but a nameless race. The thing is, it's never loud. There's no declaration, no confrontation. Just little changes, sudden drops in tone, forced smiles, the need to brag about something that happens to be superior to you, a sneaking insecurity that seeps out every time you shine. Carl Jung saw this clearly. Everything that annoys us in another person is an opportunity to understand ourselves. But these people don't use that opportunity to understand themselves. They use it to compete. Because what they see in you, joy, growth, clarity of purpose, is exactly what they've been missing in their own lives. So instead of congratulating, they compare. Instead of sharing in the joy, they silently turn every blessing into a scorecard. Not because they hate your success, but because it makes them feel like they're losing their own internal battle. You're not in a competition, they are. Quietly, covertly, and persistently. If you feel like every advance you make is the start of a hidden competition, if every success you achieve makes your relationship feel strained, then face the facts. You're not dealing with a friend. True support doesn't pressure you. It doesn't make you feel self-conscious about sharing your joy. A true friend won't see your victories as a reminder that they're falling behind. But the silent enemy will. They don't cheer, they compete, and they'll keep doing it until you realize this isn't your game and retreat to keep the peace. Sign 3. Sarcasm and Contempt, when a smile is a hidden knife. Have you ever heard the phrase, "You're being too sensitive, I was just joking"? It sounds harmless, fun, even friendly. But why does it still hurt every time you hear it? The truth is, sometimes those jokes aren't meant to be funny. They're well disguised, coated in collective laughter, but laced with the venom of contempt. The person telling them knows your weaknesses, your past, your body, the mistakes you're trying to overcome, and they keep hitting them over and over, like a knife chipping away at your self-esteem, bit by bit. Others may laugh, but you don't. You feel attacked in the midst of laughter, and then when you react you come off as too sensitive. They say you take things too seriously. You're the one who makes the atmosphere tense. But what is the truth? It's a form of emotional manipulation. As Carl Jung once said, everything that irritates us in others can lead to self-knowledge. But there are people who don't want to know themselves. They refuse to look at their own shadow. Instead, they project it onto others, onto you. They use you as a vent for their negative emotions. Their laughter is not humor, but disguised contempt. They are not joking. They are hurting you little by little, over and over again, so subtly that no one sees the wound except you. A true friend won't make fun of your pain. They won't make you feel small just to laugh. If you feel your heart sink every time they make a joke, if you pretend to laugh along but go home and cry alone, that's not friendship. That's psychological warfare disguised as friendliness. Sign 4. Control with care, when protection becomes a form of ownership. It usually starts so gently, so subtly, with words that seem so loving. "I'm just worried about you. I don't want you to get hurt. You'll understand why later." But deep down, you feel something is wrong. Your shoulders slump, your excitement cools. When you try to explain your decision, your voice shakes. Not because you are not confident, but because you are being made to doubt your own intuition. What you're dealing with isn't care, it's control masquerading as kindness. They don't yell at you. They don't pressure you. They pour advice into your ear that sounds smart and sensible, but instead of lifting you up, they make you shrink. Instead of motivating you, they make you procrastinate. They tell you to think it over. They tell you that you're being too dreamy, too emotional, too reckless. They always talk as if they know you better than you do. Gradually, you lose faith in your choices. You start asking them for their opinion on every step, and at some point you realize you've given the steering wheel of your life to someone else. Carl Jung once said, "Those who cannot control their inner chaos seek to control others in order to feel secure." That's exactly what happens. Their lives are chaotic. Their emotions are in turmoil. Instead of healing, they cling to you as a psychological anchor to keep them from drifting away. They don't really believe in your maturity. They don't see you as strong enough to walk alone. They believe in one thing, holding on. And to do that, they don't force. They re-establish your belief with doubt. They plant in your mind a recurring question: what if I'm wrong? What if they're right? But I ask you this: if someone's caring makes you feel weak, doubtful and dependent, is it still real caring? True love doesn't make you shrink, it gives you wings. It says, "Keep going, no matter how hard the road is, I'm here." But false love says, "Just follow me. Don't take the wrong turns. Don't fail, because I know better." A controller always wears the mask of a protector. They don't want you to fall, because if you stay strong, they have no reason to hold you back. The problem isn't that you might be wrong, it's that they can't stand you making your own decisions. If you're in a relationship where every decision you make has to go through the other person's approval filter, if you feel like you can't move forward without their approval, it's time to stop. Not to rebel, but to reclaim your freedom. Because a Stoic soul understands that inner freedom is never born of someone else's control, even in its gentlest form. Sign 5. Fake kindness, when the smile doesn't reach the eyes. They say all the right things. "I'm proud of you." That's great. "I'm so happy for you." They sound right, reasonable, well-intentioned. But why doesn't your heart believe it? Why does it still feel empty inside? Because words can be memorized, but energy cannot be faked. You feel the lack of passion. Their eyes look away. Their voice has no emotion. And when you really need them, they are not there. Not in the important moments, not in the times when you want to share your joy or your pain. People who really care don't just say they love you, they show up. They're there for you. They're happy when you succeed and they're hurt when you fail. But fake nice people are not like that. They're good at saying the right things at the right time, but they lack soul. They disappear when you need a shoulder to cry on. And when they're there, you feel cold, empty, like you're talking to a hollow version of yourself. Carl Jung called this phenomenon ego dissociation. Such people are no longer able to connect with real human experience. They don't necessarily hate you, but they don't have the strength to love you either. They become mechanical, like a pre-programmed script. You can sit next to them, hear all the nice things, and still feel disconnected. And that's the sign. You're not living a real friendship, you're playing a social role. The script sounds great, but the stage is cold. The smile is pretty, but doesn't reach the eyes. And you, the one looking for genuine connection, are getting a carefully crafted fake. If someone is always absent when your soul needs them, if their kindness feels like an automatic message, if you always have to ask yourself, are they for real? Then you have your answer. You don't need more words, you need presence. Sign 6. Not happy when you succeed, when silence becomes betrayal. They were there for you when you had nothing, when you were confused, when you were down, when life was stormy, they were there. They were the ones who listened to your complaints, who sympathized with your pain, who made you believe this is the real you. But then you start to pick yourself up. You improve, you grow, you start to reap the rewards of years of perseverance. And then they go silent. No congratulations, no genuine expression, just a nonchalant nod, a "yeah, that's good," and they change the subject. You feel the coldness in their emotional absence, not because they don't see the good in what you do, but because they can't stand the fact that you've stepped out of that vulnerable zone where they used to be important. When you fail, You are understandable. You are normal. You are non-threatening. But when you succeed, you become a mirror of their inertia. You make them face the truth they are trying to avoid, that they are still standing still. Carl Jung once said, "If someone cannot rejoice in your joy, it is because they are fighting an inner war that you cannot see." Your success is more than just an external event. It is a direct collision with their shadow self. Instead of stepping up with you, they step back, not because you have changed, but because your change exposes their immobility. They might still say, "That was great," but you feel it. Their eyes don't light up. Their voices are blank. There's no emotion, no empathy, just a cold void. And what hurts the most? Realizing that those who have walked with you through pain cannot walk with you through success. They may sit with you in the dark, but your light blinds them. So what do? Don't hate them. Don't try to drag them along. Be clear and accepting. Not everyone can be there for you in every stage of your life. A true friend isn't afraid of you shining. They aren't threatened by your light. They reflect it back. And the Stoics understood this. Personal growth doesn't need to be recognized by others to be authentic. It just requires one thing. You keep going, even when no one applauds. Sign 7. Body language. The undisguised truth. Words can be rewritten, smiles can be practiced, compliments can be prepared, but there is one thing people cannot fake: their bodies. When someone really doesn't like you, even if they appear happy, friendly and happy on the outside, their body is telling a completely different story. You may not hear it with your ears, but your intuition will feel it. Carl Jung once said, "The subconscious always speaks through the body," and it's true. The body doesn't lie. "Congratulations," they say, but the smile fades before it can even form. Their eyes never light up. They avoid direct eye contact. Their bodies lean away from you, not toward you. When you tell them about an accomplishment, they clap, but a beat slower. They hug you, but the hug has no warmth. It's an empty gesture. You're not sensitive, you're not imagining things. You're experiencing the most primitive form of human intelligence, survival intuition. Before language, our ancestors survived by reading emotions, reading energy, reading the truth beneath the surface. And that ability is still in you. The question is, do you believe it? When someone is jealous, envious, or secretly hostile to you, their nervous system reacts instantly. Even if they try to stay calm, their body gives them away. Jaws tighten, shoulders rise, breathing becomes shallow, blinking increases, eyes avert, voice becomes toneless, and body leans away from you. All of those manifestations, however small, are not random. They are micro-signals, subtle signals that your soul has been programmed to detect for thousands of years. And the most important thing is, you always feel it before you can explain it. You feel the room suddenly get colder. You feel it hard to breathe next to them. You feel your chest tighten, your stomach clench. You feel unsafe even when they're smiling. It is a moment between two worlds, the world of false words and the world of true energy. Don't ignore that feeling. Don't deny yourself the ancient wisdom within just to maintain a superficial politeness. Stoics understand that it is better to accept a bitter truth than to drink sweet words forever. Your intuition is not a weakness, it is an alarm system that nature has given you. Respect it. Sign 8. Backstabbing. When the silence in a room speaks louder than 1,000 words. You walk into a room, people you know are there, but the atmosphere suddenly changes. Smiles fade, eyes avert. No one says anything, but you feel it. Something was said before you arrived. This is how gossip works, silently, strategically, and selfishly. When someone doesn't have the courage to confront you directly, they take the more cowardly route. Backstabbing with words. They don't just discuss your actions, they distort your character. They don't challenge your thinking, they sow doubt in others about who you are. Worse, they do it subtly, never overtly, just enough to sow seeds of doubt, just enough to make others start to see you differently. And you, the unknowing one, just feel a chill run down your spine every time you step into what used to be your comfort zone. Why do they do this? Carl Jung once said, "The brighter the light, the deeper the shadow." Your light, your self-mastery, your growth, your serenity awakens the unexamined darkness within them. Rather than confront their own inadequacies, they choose to dim the light of others. They don't try to grow up, they try to take your shine off you so they feel less than you. They don't learn how to talk, they learn how to twist the truth. And that, even if you don't hear it directly, still hurts you through the looks, the avoidance, and the strange attitudes from those around you. But here is a truth that Stoics need to remember. Gossip does not define you, it only reveals the person who speaks it. A person at peace with himself does not feel the need to destroy others, but a person with an open wound uses you as a scapegoat. So when you sense a change in the room, when you find yourself at the center of a suspicious silence, when a look of aversion appears instead of a greeting, don't try to justify it. Don't go looking for who said what. You need not reply with words. Your silence is the noblest voice. Walk on with your head held high and your heart steady. They talk behind your back because they stand behind you, and you need never turn around to answer a soul that is not ready to look into the light. Now you see the signs, not to doubt everyone, not to live in fear, but to see clearly. You don't need to confront, you don't need to expose, you don't need to expose anyone. You just need to do one thing: protect your inner peace. Because peace is expensive, and you've been unconsciously trading it for people who don't deserve it for too long. It's time to set your boundaries. No more apologizing for growing up. No more trying to explain why you're moving forward. No more waiting for applause from those who secretly wish you would fail. And most importantly, no more shining your light on those who only cast darkness back. The truth is, not everyone in your circle is on your side. There are people who just sit by to observe, to compare, to wait for the moment you slip up. They don't need knives. They stab you with a slow smile, with a cold congratulation, with an absence in your shining moment. And today, you have a choice. Either continue to live in an attempt to be liked by those who secretly compete with you, or choose yourself. Choose growth. Choose emotional freedom. Choose serenity, where true love doesn't require you to shrink to make others comfortable. Because self-love begins where fake love ends. If this video resonates with you, don't keep it to yourself. Share it with someone who is doubting but doesn't have the words to put it into words. Comment below. What signs have woken you up? And if you're ready to dive deeper into the world of awareness, inner strength, and psychological truth, hit subscribe, because this journey is just beginning. This is more than a video. This is a wake-up call, a choice, a stepping stone to a stronger, wiser you, and one that no longer succumbs to the lies that come with friendship.